so the webinar started. Welcome everybody to today's FinTech program webinar. It's the 6th of August and hello from wherever you are in the world. I know that we've got global participants today. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever you are in the world. You'll see the chat there, so you can write a little hello in the chat. It's nice to see everybody and write where you are so we can see. We'll just give it a minute for everybody to filter in. And I hope that you can all hear me okay. We've just got people entering, so I'll just give it a few more seconds for you all to get comfortable. Okay, so thank you for joining us today. It's the Side Business School, University of Oxford's FinTech webinar. Today, I'm Lindsay McLeod. I'm the Executive Education Consultant. Joining me today, I've got Attie. Would you like to introduce yourself, Attie?
Yeah, sure. Hey, everyone. I'm Attie Lotz. I'm based in Cape Town, South Africa. I'm an innovation and design strategist working as a management consultant. And then I'm also fortunate enough to work as a tutor on some of the online courses at Oxford.
Fantastic, thank you. And joining us today, we have a very special guest, Shanthini. Nice to meet you, Shanthini. Please tell us about yourself.
Thanks very much, Lindsay, and hi, everyone. I'm Shanthini Satyendra. I'm a lawyer specializing in digital tech and technology law, specifically AI. In my most recent role, I had a business role scaling AI. I'm also pleased to say I was a alumni of the FinTech program, so here to share some thoughts and learnings from that. Great to meet you all.
Fantastic, thank you so much. So a really exciting panel for us today. Just some housekeeping before we start. So this meeting is recorded. You'll be able to watch the recording afterwards. And also I know some people have signed up to watch the recording. So we hope you enjoy that. We're going to have a Q&A session. So if you have any questions, you can write them in the chat and we'll address them at the end of the session. So today's agenda, we're going to tell you all about the programme, things that you can gain, how you learn. We're going to go over the modules on a full overview. We're looking at our faculty, the support and the networking opportunities you can gain from Side Business School. We'll have a look at the platform where your online learning takes place, how to apply, and like I said, the Q&A at the end. So first of all, about the programme, just an overview. It's 7 weeks in total and 100% online. It's designed for busy people to balance all your work and personal commitments and still study. Basically for executives, managers or entrepreneurs looking to apply FinTech innovations in your role. Basic topics and more covered are blockchain, AI, open banking, and central bank digital currencies. So really nice hot topics and fresh information. Lots of change over the last 6 years. So we're really looking into sort of live case studies and really useful things you can put into your current practices. The programme itself is asynchronous, enriched with different types of activities, tutor-led discussions, and also live sessions. Lots of reasons to choose this programme. Not only are you gaining tools that you can lead into the financial future of services and accelerate your career growth, it's also designed to give you knowledge and insights to understand all the latest developments in FinTech, with mentally stimulating challenges, encouraging reflection. So you'll look at your existing knowledge and how you can equip it with new frameworks and new perspectives to lead into your next few years. You're engaging in live sessions, so looking at radical disruptions, emerging government policies, thinking about what's accelerated the events or long-term consequences, what's good for society, and on a global scale of this $20 trillion industry. The live sessions, you get to engage with group discussion and also looking, all led by the world-class Oxford faculty. It's been said that the program is intellectually demanding, practically valuable, and personally inspiring. So we love that. Oxford itself was still ranked #1 in the world for 9 consecutive years. So it's a great one to choose and have on your CV that you've studied with us. Okay, so we're looking at the gains from the program. I'm going to hand this over to you, Attie. Can you tell us a bit about the gains?
Thanks, Lindsay. Yeah, so I think you're right to expect that you'll learn from different fintechs, different technologies, etc. But we also what you stand to gain is learning how to unpack them a bit and understand what makes it what makes for these fintechs and what gives rise to so many of them. For instance, understanding regulation as well. So it's so you'll gain a deeper understanding of how things came to be and most importantly, the challenges that many fintechs face and that you may face and ways to think about that. I think what's great about this program is the people, not just the people from Oxford's side, but time and time again, we see how participants join the discussions. We work on an online platform called Pronto, where we chat with each other, not just live sessions, and to see the support and engagement between participants. It's a global cohort. We've got people from such a diverse backgrounds. So it's fantastic to get everybody's input. And it's really nice it's so obvious to see sometimes how someone's viewpoint gets challenged and how minds are changed, which is fantastic. And that's great to see. Of course, there's a fantastic certificate that you get with the Oxford brand on it, which will serve you well going forward. I like to see these posted on LinkedIn and to see participants and other staff members support and cheer each other on, which is always great to see.
Yep, that's true. And the certificate, it has fantastic fraud protection as well. So you've sort of got blockchain security added to that as well. Okay, something for you now. We've got a poll coming up. So what's your main reason for considering this program? We have lots of participants from maybe different areas. Maybe you'd like to apply fintech to your current role. Maybe it's to accelerate your career in financial services. Maybe you just want to widen your network and feel that Side Business School is the place to do that. Maybe it's just general upskilling, or if you're looking for academic certificates. So I must tell you that there are no academic points connected to our programs, and luckily nobody is selecting that. Okay, so we'll give you a second just to fill it in. You should see the pop-up on your screen. Okay, fantastic. So I think we can end the poll. We have everybody's answer in. And yep, the winner is to accelerate your career in financial services. That's fantastic. We can certainly help you with that. In fact, all of them are applied to this program, so including knowledge gains, network and upskilling. I'd like to hand it over to Shanthini. What was your main reason for choosing this program particularly?
Yeah, so I might be a bit different because when I started doing it, it was back in 2018, and I'm a lawyer. So and it has no law in it specifically as a focus area, and I did it primarily in order to understand that intersect between the technology and the business side of it, because I felt it would make me more effective as a lawyer advising clients who were in that space. It also complemented my own learning because my first degree was in computing, so it sort of rounded out my learning. What I did, and the poll is interesting. I do think, if you're in financial services, it will absolutely help you in that context. But I do think it goes beyond that because that blending of the business focus with the FS sector knowledge is superb because it's very practical. It talks you through the stages of innovation, and in a very practical way. And I found that incredibly helpful. And it was in some ways tangential to my main job, but very, very relevant to my clients. Fast forward today, I was looking back in preparation for this call at some of the submissions I'd done back then, and it was quite interesting actually. Some of the preparations I'd done, I was talking about the types of innovation I might be interested in. And one of them actually happens to intersect with something I am doing right now in co-founding my own company, which it seems that resonated for me back then. I've only reminded myself of that just now. So you get to do the theory, but you also get to practice, I suppose, in your own context through the submissions you do. So it's not just something you read; you actually live it during the program.
Fantastic. Well, that's super. Wonderful. Thank you so much. So how you'll learn, we have lots of questions about how does it work? How will I learn online? So here we are. So the overall structure, you've got these 7 weeks. The first week is dedicated just to your orientation. So you'll get your login and passwords and make sure that you're all set up with your tech. You'll also meet the support team and your tutors with a lovely orientation meeting the next day. And this is a really nice one to really get to feel the friendliness of everybody around you, meet your peers and really settle in. The next 6 weeks is when the modules start, and then you've got these sort of weekly deadlines to stick to. We recommend around 10 hours a week, plus minus, depending on how fast you study. Shanthini, how much time did you spend a week, do you think, roughly, on the program?
Yeah, I mean, I think the 10 hours is a guideline. You can spend a lot longer than that, especially for some of the group work, but it really is up to you to manage your time. So I found that there were certain elements of the project, of the course, where I did spend more than that because I felt I wanted to. But I did find that, yeah, I think the 10 hours is I would say veers on the minimum, not the maximum. But because it's sort of asynchronous, you can just fit that around your life, and that's exactly what I had to do.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, we have some students that cram it all into the weekends or every evening, spread it out slowly. Attie, tell us a little bit, because we've got students from all around the world, and I just thought about this group work and things, the tasks that you do. How does that work with everybody in different time zones?
So when I did it in my little group, I had people from Africa, from the States, from Europe, and China. So a few time zones to navigate there. And so the first thing is when we did have calls that we were arranging, we had to be respectful, obviously, of that. We found that it was actually made the job more interesting, because people came at the issues with very different perspectives. And I think we were talking earlier, when all of us, that views also get challenged. Something that you might look at as being quite important from I don't know, an English perspective, maybe challenge when you see it from another perspective. So that was quite interesting. But the logistics of coming together across the world was navigable, and sometimes you had to divide and conquer what you all did, and people input it in writing or whatever, if they couldn't get up for a call. But that was part of the fun of it. And in all honesty, for those who work, and I'm sure most of those listening do, that's life if you're working in a global organization. People do work in different countries, and you have to come together to do projects. So for me, it was just an extension of what I was used to doing as a lawyer, doing global deals, and it seemed to work, to be honest.
Hey, Lindsay. So the course at the moment it has changed since then. The current form of the course doesn't have group projects, and the collaboration is focused on discussions online asynchronously. So there's still a bit of weighing in between participants, but it's handled asynchronously to the discussion forums, the chat.
That's fantastic. And I love the way that the program changes and grows and develops as we go through. So the tutors are constantly looking at those and updating to it. Brilliant. Love it. So make sure you've got a good laptop and a headset so you can really enjoy those moments. The content itself. So it's really easy to access. I'll show you the Canvas model soon. You've got a mixture of videos, quizzes, and infographics along with text. We mentioned the weekly live session. So this is tutor-led and it's at 10:30 most of the time on Mondays. That's British summertime at the moment, 10:30. Those are recorded, so if you can't make it, you can watch back at any time via the platform. You've also got 2 live webinars, which will be led by the program director. So a really nice mixture. And they usually last about an hour. Is that right, Attie?
That's correct.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, so the assessments, also a big question about the assessments. So Attie, I'd love you to tell us a little about the assessments. How do they work?
Yeah, sure, no problem. Right, so you'll see on the right side of the screen there that there are 6 submissions, 3 of which is a reflection. I think it's a great idea. You know, reflection is really the way that you cement your learning. And the 3 exercises revolve around developing your own fintech idea. It's not that every participant is going to go out in the world and develop a fintech idea, but innovation is at the core. That's at the core of what fintech is. And by trying to apply your mind to your own idea, it's a way of learning and really exposes all the different facets of having to be a fintech. You know, so analyzing, for instance, regulation, trying to understand what you have to comply with, what not, how to maybe change your business model with regards to that. That's just a small insight into how these exercises are designed. And of course, these are graded by the tutor team. We usually two tutors in every cohort, and we give our expert opinion and give you good feedback on that so as to promote your learning.
Excellent, thank you. And how much time do people have roughly to complete an assignment?
So there's 1 submission per week, but it alternates. So you submit a reflection piece, then a piece on your project, another reflection piece on your project. And then the last submission is a pitching your idea. And then I think it's quite fun at the end of the course, there's an opportunity for some students to pitch to Professor Vulcan, who's an avid entrepreneur, and get his direct feedback on your idea, which I think is quite cool.
Wow, that's really amazing. And that's optional, isn't it? So if you
Yeah.
want to, then you can. Fantastic, thank you. So here we are, here's Canvas. This is how your learning platform should look like. It's broken down into really easy steps, so you can't get lost, you can't break it, you can't click on the wrong thing. You just click through module by module, week by week. It's all there laid for you very clearly. You've got things like your live events, your grades, and any FAQs. You can also communicate there and set up your own profiles, so putting your links there. Your live sessions will show in a calendar, so as you enroll, you will be given all the dates, so you can plan well ahead, and then you just register for them via the platform as well. So really easy to use. Okay, here we go. So looking at the module overview, we're going to put the brochure into the chat so you can have a good read there if you haven't had it already. The first module is about disruptive change and opportunities in fintech, looking at financial innovation. So the assessments there go alongside a quiz, your graded discussion, and a reflection. Module 2 is about policies and regulations. So the views from policymakers and regulators, understanding how new regulations being created or adapted to support the growth of fintech innovation ecosystems. So you've got another quiz, the graded discussion, and an exercise. Attie, is there anything about the exercise there you could tell us maybe with those ones?
These are just within the module to test
Okay.
your knowledge as you go about. Maybe I can elaborate a bit about the graded discussion. Graded discussion is just assessing your engagement with the course content, and that's done in a forum setting where we all chat together in a chat room. I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah, no, that's wonderful. Then you've got module 3, the incumbents. So I've heard a lot of good things about this module. how it's really unique that not many other places offer this, this module. So I'm really happy that it's included in the programme. You're looking at complex challenges and traditional financial institutions as you digitally transform. So a very hot topic at the moment. Module 4 is looking at entrepreneurs. So you've got views with Ghana insights, startup successes and challenges in all the competitive, fast-moving industries. There's case studies as well that you're looking at, isn't there, Attie, that you've got real-life case studies. Yeah.
Yes.
Module 5 as well, you're looking at exploration of fintech from an entrepreneur's view, investigating peer-to-peer lending, digital IDs, AI in finance, and more. So AI, this is a hot topic as well. People ask how much about AI is actually in the programme, Attie?
It's increasingly forming part of discussions. I think it's hard to avoid. So inevitably it comes in. I must say there's definitely an increase in project ideas that involve AI. I think that's a natural progression of how the world is going. So yeah, it does. Every week we discuss something in AI, even if it's not part of the course material at every step of the way. It's quite topical.
That's really interesting. So if there's this, discussions could rear into different areas if they do.
Right. To give an example, you can turn something as boring as regulation into an AI discussion. You can.
You're not calling boring regulation boring, are you?
I was just about to say, Shanthini, that's an interesting one. How did you find the discussions, Shanthini? Did you find as well that the topics, that there was lots of input and?
Yeah, very much so. And it's great to see the how the modules have evolved as well, because I did do this a little while ago, when you look back on it back in 2018, and just sort of commenting on this overview, it was far more, I suppose, balanced across all of the different types of technology, whereas today obviously AI dominates for so many reasons. But I did find, yes, 100% the discussions were, I mean, in a different format, because a lot of them, I mean, when I was involved, a lot of them were verbal as well, but they were fantastic because people came from different sectors, different countries, different levels of knowledge. Some people had deep technical knowledge, others, I had someone in my cohort who was setting up their own fintech actually, and in the group project, we sort of anchored it around what she did, and she set it up now. So that's been quite interesting to follow. So a huge diversity, and I echo what Attie said, that you get a lot I think out of the content, obviously, that you're formally learning, but really it is up to you to get a lot out of your peer group, because they have a lot to contribute. So I found both very, very interesting.
Absolutely brilliant. Thank you, guys. And where was I up to? I think module 6. So we're looking at investors, academia, and the future. So our Oxford tutors, obviously, their main point is to research, and you're looking at all of their research and the views from perspectives of venture capitalists around investment trends and VC filters, techniques, and much more. So in the chat, as I said, the full brochure's there. You can have a really good read through. And the last, as Attie was mentioning, the project idea comes at the end. So you might start with one idea, and then it might change as you go through the programme, as you get inspired as you go through. So we're there to support you all the way through that. Okay, something for our watchers now. So another poll. Tell us about the challenges that you face in your career right now. So keeping up with rapid technological change in finance, navigating global market shifts or regulatory changes, building the knowledge and confidence in fintech and innovation, or maybe expanding your personal professional network within that fintech space. So the answers are flowing in. Okay, we've got, keeping up with rapid technological changes. Absolutely. Well, it's quite balanced, really. We've also got knowledge and confidence in fintech and innovations. Absolutely. Shanthini, I'd love to know from you how you've really used this information and addressed any challenges that you've had from the program.
Yeah, so and first, in terms of the poll, I mean, I think all of these things are important, but actually I view these as opportunities, not challenges. It's like, you know, it's life, right, at the moment. Now, in terms of the learnings, I think let me put it in this way. I think there is a literal application, and then there's the sort of the wider application for me of of doing the program. The literal application, as I said initially, was as a lawyer advising, frankly, technology companies in the FS space and wider. It helped me look at things from their perspective, which I always think is important to be effective, so that I don't speak law, I speak business or English or whatever, however you want to put it. So that absolutely was what I wanted to do. But the second, and I suppose the less literal application, it starts giving a framework. If you're someone interested in these areas and you read and you do your own thinking, it starts giving a framework to peg future reading, learning, thinking, etc. There's a lot of material you're given, you know, within, in terms of reading materials. You learn a lot from people you're sort of intersecting with, and it just sort of gives you that framework that you can use once you leave, which I think is at least as valuable. And on a personal level, I think sort of pretending to be someone setting up a fintech, as I had to, was a really fantastic personal journey for me, and it's something that I can now put into practice in my own company. But it was it's nothing like sort of doing it for yourself, right? So I think somewhere I saw in the slides you talked about it being personally quite inspiring, and I did find that quite interesting. And there was a sort of self-reflection bit that I don't know if it's still there, but this thing about a journal, you know, you keep a journal as you go through, and it may be you do it in different ways, but, you know, reflecting on your own learning, that's a fantastic way of sort of looking back on yourself at the beginning of the course and at the end and going, oh, I've sort of had this perspective or that perspective. So there's a few things there which aren't confined purely to literally what you get from doing the 10 hours every week.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think all of our portfolio of programs at Said Business School, you know, they're focused on this development and personal growth. What can it do for you? That impact from within that comes really strongly. Yep. Thank you.
And I do think, Lindsay, just to complete that thought, I think especially as when you're working, as I was when I was doing this, you get to a point where you've sort of done your formal study, whether you're doing university or whatever. And I do think, given the rapid pace of change today, that continuous learning is important. So there's that feeling of an investment in yourself, doing something like this in which is manageable. Rather than promising, as I had done for a few months, that I'd read every book in the area, because you know what, I'm never going to do that. But if I've got a structured program, I'm likely to, you know, formalize my learning, and I found that quite useful.
Fantastic. Yeah, that's really, really good advice. Thank you. Okay, so moving on, we've got the faculty here. Our faculty are world leading, huge authorities with the cutting edge research. So we've got Nick, who's the Associate Professor of Business Economics, who's very present in the programme, and also Pinar, who you can actually find on our Oxford Tea Talks YouTube channel. She's got some really nice debates there, and guest speakers. So along with Attie, we've got another whole team of tutors as well. And these are our Oxford faculty leaders. Support. So what can you expect for support? Apart from having obviously our tutor team that will give you your feedback on your assignments, you've also got your support team, who are called the Success Team, and you'll meet them. They'll be the first people that you meet. They're there for any sort of non-academic issues that you might need. Maybe something will come up from work, or you need an extension or something, and they can help with that. We've also got a technical support team, tailored feedback as well. We mentioned that, and live sessions and all the group discussions. There's the Pronto app that Attie mentioned earlier. So you'll be given access to the app where you can chat away in your comfortable time zone, as comfortable as it is. Okay, moving on. So we've got networking opportunities. Networking is a massive part of our business school, and it goes on and on. So not just for those 7 weeks, it also goes on to sort of a lifelong membership. You've got the global cohort of professionals. I think currently we have about 30,000 Elumni members from about 177 countries. So it's a massive network that you can join in the Side Business School Alumni Network. There's also alumni, so we've got alumni from Oxford campus, and Elumni, which is from our business school, online business school. So some of those intercross. So you've got, for example, alumni reunions in Oxford. So if you are in the UK or want to travel to the UK, you can join the reunions and be invited through the alumni network. Now, I would love to hear about the opportunities, Shanthini, that you experienced with the alumni network. Have you taken advantage of the services there or anything since you've?
Yeah, I mean, some of it was organic in the sense that I say the cohort I was involved in back in 2018, I've kept in touch with some of them already, which is interesting, isn't it, that I've done that. But I've also connected in, yes, through the wider network, not just with this cohort, but other cohorts, and found that very helpful. So a couple of practical, and what I like, so I'm not one of these people, you put me into a room and ask me to network, it just makes me go cold because I'm not interested. But if you put me into a room of people who are very engaged in something I'm passionate about, then it becomes really interesting. And that's what this gives you. It sort of filters a group of people who have some common interests and puts them together, and you've had that joint learning. So it's a fantastic way to get to know people, and I found it very useful. A couple of practical examples, I suppose, of where I've found it sort of manifest. One was doing some courses recently, and I've actually gone on to do a couple of other courses as well. I got invited then to come and actually be a guest lecturer in a couple of sessions at Oxford in my area of specialism, which is obviously law and AI, which was great, but it came through because of people I'd met through this. The second is I'm publishing my own book, and I got connected in with someone who I'm going to talk to, and authors and so on who are helpful to me there. So two tangible examples from my case, and just getting to know people who are interested and as enthused or as lost or however you would like to describe it as you are in your area of specialism. So I do think it's a great opportunity.
That's fantastic. Well, congratulations on your exciting things there. We've also, there's other chat about someone starting an app with one of the tutors. I'm not sure if it was from this program or generally. So yeah, lots of opportunities, but obviously we'll give you the access and the tools, and it's up to you to find them. Fantastic. Do tutors get involved in alumni activities, Attie?
I haven't. I'm sure it's possible.
I've seen them.
Oh, you have, yeah.
Yes.
But I was away for a while. I recently came back.
Yes, that's true. Some of our tutors are in different countries as well. So you've got some specialists from around the world. So yes, but I've heard there's good parties on the campus. Okay, fantastic. So lots of networking. Very nice. Okay, so just before we do the Q&A, let's just talk about the next steps. So the next program to start will be the 3rd of September, which is a Wednesday. We will start on a Wednesday. The application deadline is right up to the minute, but really we'd like you to apply at least a week before the program starts. So let's say 1st of September. You've got the QR codes there. You can snap it there if you want to. Entry requirements. So this is often a question. We're not looking at anybody's previous academic achievements for this. We'd like you to, you know, be professional enough to enjoy the program and be able to chat and enjoy all the parts. Obviously, submit the assignments. You've got to pass them as well. So, so it's very different from a usual academic Oxford entry. It's sign yourself up via the website, and I'm there to support you if you have any questions. So the fee is £2,200, and that's a one-off payment. If you'd like to have a chat with me, you can book a call with me. There's the QR code, so just scan it there if you have any specific requirements that we might need to talk through. We're quite flexible, so do let me know. We also take group bookings, so maybe you're part of a company or a firm or a big group of people that would like to filter in for our programs, and we can absolutely do that. You'll just need to email our main email address, which is there, the onlineexed.sbs.oc.ac.uk, and we'll happily have a chat about any group bookings or individual situations that you might want to talk through with us. Okay, lovely. So I think we can go into the Q&A. So if you haven't done so already, please put any question that you might have into the chat, and I'm going to read through them, and then they could be for either Shanthini or is the link not valid? Okay, the book a call link, I can put it in there. Okay, I'm just looking through the chat now. Sorry, we've got lovely from London, from Dubai, hi from Ghana. Yeah, it's a real worldly bunch. Singapore, wow. What time of day is it in Singapore? Okay. There's
Would
a
you
lovely
mind if I answer that one question by Barnaby? Would
Yes.
you say this is suitable for a second-year BSc economics student? In terms of if you're already at university level, I don't think in terms of difficulty, I don't think you should have a problem. Real world applicability might come in, but I think you stand a lot to gain from other participants with that regard, but I don't think it should be a problem. I think you
Excellent.
should be just fine.
Yeah, that's good to know. I have quite a few questions like that come in from people. Okay. The session times. So the sessions they should be on Mondays at 10:30 British time. The live sessions, but that could change depending on what intake you go for. So I know the September one is definitely Mondays at 10:30. After this cohort, we have October. So we have several cohorts starting every year. They have several months. So there's September, October, there'll be January, there'll be springtime. So we have several available. Two are showing on the web page already. Okay, yes, the second link in the chat should work if you want to book a call with me. Okay, I've got a question from George for Attie. I work in financial regulation with a focus on fintech. Would this course be useful for me, or is it more geared towards entrepreneurs?
I wouldn't say that it is geared toward entrepreneurs. It's taking the entrepreneurial viewpoint at times in order to make sense of fintechs or fintech companies. We do delve into, I mean, I think it's module 2, we do go into regulation and how entrepreneurs or how fintechs approach regulation. This course as itself to become an expert in the regulation, I don't think it does that for you. But I think if you're already in the regulation space, I think there's a lot to learn about everything else that goes on for fintechs and how they prepare and how they, especially something that's not often thought about is like how they interact with incumbents, with the existing banks, and that interplay between incumbents and startups.
Brilliant. Thank you. We've got a lovely question here from Ivy, and this question pops up quite a lot, so I'm really thank you for reminding me about it. Crypto and blockchain. Is crypto or any of the sort of crypto things mentioned within this program?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I don't think you can go into fintech without touching on it. We don't delve into it in a super technical level, right? So we might discuss at a broad level different ways of showing proof of work or proof of stake. We might at broad. The details of it, the focus is more on understanding the tools and what they can offer you and the benefits of those tools. To be able to say that you'll be able to build your own crypto coin after this, that's not within the scope of this course.
Yeah.
But if you do have deeper questions, we're a couple of keystrokes away to ask us questions. The tutors, I mean, we're no experts in every field, but we love learning and love learning together so we can figure it out together.
Yeah, brilliant. Okay, Thomas, I've got no contact with fintech at the moment, but interested to learn more about the area. Does this program make sense for me? Absolutely.
It's not, maybe I should share, Lindsay, it's not a very technically heavy course. So it's prior knowledge isn't needed.
Fantastic.
I don't know, Attie, Lindsay, this is helpful, but I'd agree that it's not about the technical side of it. That's not the focus. The way I look at it is it's like the so what, right? If you want to know about fintech, so what if you're a business? So what if you're advising a business? And that's what makes it quite accessible. And there is a wide spectrum of people it could potentially help, even if you're not a fintech.
Fantastic. Yeah, that's really really helpful. Thank you. Okay, we've got the live sessions. They're recorded. So if you can't make any live session, you can watch the recording, and those recordings are available all the way through the program up to, I think, a week or two afterwards. So you can really watch them again and again if you want to. Yeah, Fahad, we've got professional experience of 20 years in internal audits and AML. You don't have a that's the same as the other questions. So so I think we've covered that with the last answer about the fintech expertise not being needed, right? Yeah, fantastic. Sorry, I'm just reading the questions. Are you guys reading as well? Sharing the slides after the session. So thank you, Eugene, for your question. This session is recorded, remember, so you're going to get the recording afterwards, and then you'll have the slides there. Okay, so would love to start on the 3rd of September, but traveling for a fintech conference the week of the 8th. Would you recommend I continue or wait till the October? I think it's best to wait. Would you agree, Attie, that starting any program late can be problematic for your entry?
I think the workload would add up. I think in fintech, it's not. There's some other courses that I work on where that would really not be advisable. Yeah, I wouldn't suggest it. The work adds up, and then you're going to have a couple of really tough weeks. And it's really good if you follow the cadence of the course, you get feedback quite quickly from us, from grading your exercises or your submissions, and then you have time to implement them as well, to implement the feedback.
Yeah. Thank you. Thomas, extending deadlines. Is it quite common can you extend the deadlines if you're traveling for business reasons? So ideally, Thomas, I think you'd give us, we'd try to avoid it, but we can be quite elastic if you need to. So you'll need to talk to your success team about deadlines, and ideally plan, as it's quite flexible, so you should be able to squeeze everything in no matter what. Nicholas's question. We've been asked to elaborate on Nicholas's question, but I'm trying to find Nicholas's question. Is it this one, telling the days and times the lectures will be held? Okay, I mentioned that one already. Okay, so I'm just reading through these questions again. Maybe Shanthini, as I'm reading these questions, is there anything you'd like to add about your experience on the programme that we haven't mentioned yet?
I guess the only thing that I noticed, which I don't know, people may be thinking about, is it's obviously remote, but it didn't feel like that, because I think that there was a lot of effort put into connecting people and making as Attie was saying, the tutors' feedback and so on and so forth. So you felt like you were it felt more personalized than I expected when I did it, which was obviously a positive thing.
Yeah, it's really nice to have that, especially with an online program. I think maybe if people haven't studied online before, then you feel like it's really sort of closed and individual, but actually I think, yeah, all our programs are really, really chatty and really friendly, and like a lovely community comes through. Yeah.
And that was something that was sort of I was looking at when I was looking at the programs available to me. I wanted something that the content had to be very good, but something that gave me a learning experience that made me want to stay, which I felt I got there. So that was a positive.
Absolutely. Okay, we've got some lovely questions about people's personal backgrounds and personal situations, and I think that's the beautiful thing about the program, is that impact that it's going to have. Everybody's from a different background, as we mentioned, so you're definitely going to find the reflection part and it's all going to be useful for pretty much a broad range of professions. So if it's talking about benefits, Africa, is Africa mentioned there, Attie, on the program?
So both the tutors at the moment are from Africa, so both Francois and myself. So we weave in a lot of our examples. There are some examples that we cover in the live sessions, and examples, especially when it comes to alternative lending. There's a specific piece going about rotating savings clubs, which is very common in developing countries. That is covered in the course material. But to answer your question, I mean, it can be about that, especially the live sessions, which we run quite collaborative. It's open discussions, and we get to learn from each other. And especially you can, of course, apply it in your own project and get feedback on that directly.
And what about if people don't have any ideas for their projects? I know that there's some people might be from a completely different background. Do the tutors sort of manage to get everybody to...
It doesn't happen a lot, but pop me a direct message on Pronto and we'll figure it out quickly.
Excellent. I love it. So yeah, we haven't got this question. I've got no background in it and wouldn't know where to start. I personally wouldn't know where to start, so I'd be messaging on Pronto.
That's where your peer group comes into play as well, because someone there will come up, as Attie said. I think it'd be rare for someone to be totally stuck for ideas.
That's really great. Yeah. Oh, I love it. So as you see, if there's any other questions, you can put them into the chat. I think we've been through everything. Is there anything I've missed out, Attie, that you could add? Or did we cover
I think we did mention the live sessions, the tutor sessions, which are quite engaging, quite open. That's really fun to do. No, I don't think there's anything else to add. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, so there's no other questions filtering into the chat. So I think we can conclude today's webinar by saying thank you so much for joining us, both Shanthini, Attie, and also you guys for watching. Thank you. Get in touch with us if you have any remaining questions, and we look forward to seeing you with us in the September cohort. If you can't make it for September, then maybe sometime later in the year or 2026, just join us whenever you're ready and you've got the time. That's all then. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank
Good
you,
day.
everyone. Bye.
Bye-bye. Thanks for joining, guys.